You've been listening to JUCO Jam. For all your junior college needs, go to dreambigathletics.com and make sure to tune in to next week's episode of JUCO Jam.
Tad Sloak, and we got a special edition here today. Call it Coach's Corner to hear from Marty Smith, head coach of Central Florida, and Johnny Wiggs, the head baseball coach at Santa Fe. We're doing this as a preview to a big series coming up that starts Wednesday at Central Florida, a 3-game set between Central Florida, who's the number 1 ranked team in the country, who's 30-1, and the Santa Fe Saints, who are number 5 in the country at 29-1. Marty, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Tad.
Hey, no problem. You know, it's just been an exciting year. Congrats on the year so far and the success your team has had. And I know you're far from the end of the journey, but it's a great start.
Well, we've been having a blast. It's having a blast.
Yeah, I mean, you've been doing this a while, and I can't remember in Florida 2 teams meeting mid-season that are 30-1 and 29-1, which have those crazy records in a good way. And, because, I mean, Florida is such a tough place to play JUCO-wise that you get beaten on any day. So, kudos to both programs for, being consistent and playing good ball on a daily basis.
Yeah, I can't think of 2 teams coming into a game, 30 or so games in, having 1 loss each. That's definitely something new to the state of Florida. Florida's so tough. It's not easy to do.
No, not at all. Like I said, any given day, any program could take you down, and that's just the way baseball goes too. So just you got to be happy with the consistency so far. So, Marty, let's tell the fans a little bit about yourself. What's been your baseball journey to get to this point so far?
Well, I played here. In 84, 85. Played JUCO baseball here at the College of Central Florida, which was formerly Central Florida Community College. After that, I went to St. Thomas University. At the time, it was a Division II in Miami, Florida. I actually played for Paul Manieri. That was his first coaching gig, and I got to play for him for 2 years and finished up my career there. And then his dad needed an assistant at Miami-Dade North, which at the time they had 3 JUCOs down in Miami at the time, 3 different baseball programs. So I worked for Doc Manieri at Miami-Dade North and got my coaching career started there in 88 and 89. Mike Piazza was actually on that team in 1988. So I kind of coached a Hall of Famer my first year coaching, and that was a pretty cool thing. We didn't know that at the time, of course, but
right.
Was there for 2 years. Went back to FCCJ, which in Jacksonville for Howard Roy. Coached in 1990. We won a state championship there. That was my hometown, so I went back there to finish up some school, and I was there in 90. And after that, I came down here to Central Florida as the assistant from 91 to 94. And I was the assistant here for those 4 years and then took over this program in 95 and have been here ever since.
Wow, great. A great journey there, especially in JUCO baseball, to be so big a part of it. Sometimes people get the notion that, junior college baseball is like, the last chance you or things like that. And I think with baseball, it's the farthest from the truth. I think guys have the opportunity to come here and develop and, get their schoolwork accomplished. And, I think sometimes people get the different notion that people are here for the wrong reasons. And, I think that, junior college baseball has grown so much over the past years with facilities. I was just in Weatherford this past weekend, and, they have a great facility there. And, JUCO seems to be able to provide everything a player needs to develop. What's your thoughts on your JUCO journey so far?
Yeah, maybe it used to be. I mean, back in the day, it was maybe the home to the student that wasn't quite the student that could get into the 4-year school or didn't have the facilities that the other schools had. maybe it used to be like that, but it's certainly changed now. I mean, we can provide most of the resources for player development and everything else that a player needs to start his college journey. And you know, it's you know, I think we can play with a lot of Division I teams,
Absolutely.
especially with their freshmen and sophomores that are the same age as us. That extra year or two certainly adds some maturity to the Division I 4-year schools. But you know, it's a little different than it used to be, and I mean, it's you know, if you don't get your dream school and you don't want to settle for something else, go to JUCO and let your body grow for a couple of years and try to keep that dream alive as far as where you want to go, if it be a Power 5 or a top 25 school or whatever. Go to JUCO and work your butt off and grind a little bit and
Absolutely.
get bigger and stronger, you know, just through the process of your body
Yeah,
maturing a little bit over those next 2 years to keep your dream alive for the school that you really want to go to or whatever.
yeah, I think you know, Major League Baseball cut a couple of the short season teams out a couple years back, and it just seems like they're using a lot of the Division I programs and the JUCO programs for their development. And it seems like a lot of the D1s are really looking to JUCO lately for, you know, good quality experienced players that are coming in who've been battle tested against college competition. And just seems like they're using, you know, the junior college is also a development stage so that they can build their programs too.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you know, we like to give the kids that option to come here and get better to do that. So, you know, we can provide that for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, you had a great team last year. Went to the JUCO World Series, had a great run. You know, you had a great bunch of kids, good quality, talented players. How much of a effect did that have on this year's team's success?
You know, there was a culture of winning, and it's funny, over our last since the conference season started last year, we were 27-3 in conference in the last 30 games that we played, and we're obviously 31-1 right now. So we're 58-4 over our last 62 games, which, you know, there's some guys that are on this team that are on last year's team that know how to win and can figure it out. And it's whether it can be taught or not, I don't know. But man, we've had some comeback wins. We were down 9-4 yesterday in the sixth inning and came back and won. This team just seems to figure out how to win. And yeah, there's a core of 4 or 5 guys that are back from last year's team that certainly enjoyed going to Grand Junction and being able to do that. You know, it makes them a little bit hungry, and I don't know, they're telling the other guys the stories of what it's like to get on the big bird and fly to Grand Junction and do what you do out there and play in front of 10,500 people. And you know, the other guys have bought in and they're working hard and lifting hard and getting after it, and it's paying off for us with some late inning rallies and figuring out how to win. So obviously we got some guys back from last year's team that are helping, you know, this year's team in that battle to win games.
Yeah, and it's a great carrot to dangle out there. Grand Junction's an awesome place. I got a chance to be there last year and see the atmosphere there. It's definitely a big time place. Definitely worth the journey, and you know, that's definitely the place you want to get to. So, tell us a little bit about your lineup. I mean, I'm looking at your lineup. I saw you guys early in the year, first couple games out, and you know, you look pretty solid, but you really seem to catch stride here with your lineup. I mean, it just seems like there's no easy breaks for the opposing pitchers. That's for sure.
Yeah, we looked at it the other day. 8 out of our 9 guys in the lineup had an OPS over 1,000, so
Wow.
that was pretty good. And yeah, it's tough for an opposing pitcher to face several times through that lineup. Seems like if we don't get them early, we get them a little bit later, and if we don't get them, we get bullpens. So
Right.
It's a tough lineup. It's the best lineup that I've ever coached, that we've ever had. And we broke our home run record last year, and we had a really good offensive team last year. So
Yeah. Well,
it's a tough lineup to face, and tough outs, and some guys that have to get better at some things, and we hope that they do throughout the season to do that. So it's a tough lineup. We lost Laurie yesterday with a hamstring. He went down in our game against St. John's River. So
oh, wow.
um, we've been pretty lucky all year with the next guy up and the next guy that jumps in there. So he's obviously a huge key to us at the top of our lineup, and 11 home runs and leading the state in home runs. But he did it, of course, hustling and going as hard as he could on a ground ball to second base. And that's just the way he plays, and is what it is. We hope he's only out for a couple of weeks, and somebody else will step up for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, get him back for the stretch run there, hopefully. But he seems like a special kid, just really understands, got a high baseball IQ, it looks like, and works hard and, plays the game hard. And obviously, that's what you have to do to succeed at this level, too, is, that's one thing I respect about, your teams last year and this year. They go out and play hard every day. And, the culture of you guys being successful now, everybody knows that there's, expectations there, and, they have to meet them to be in that lineup. That's for sure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So, yeah. And the other impressive thing is not only can you guys get it done with your lineup, but you get it done on the mound too. Everybody knows about Brian Holiday, what a talented kid he is, a bulldog on the mound, competitor, got a good live fastball and a great curveball. But, you got a lot of other pieces here who's really getting the job done. And kudos to whoever's working with your pitchers. I mean, your walk to strikeout ratio is outstanding. You guys just don't leave up many freebies. And, that's been probably a big key to your success.
Yeah, Peyton Trawick's our pitching coach and recruiting guy, and he does a really good job with the pitchers. And we've had some injuries. Holiday skipped a start, and we hope to get him back for the Santa Fe series. James Hill, our guy that started on opening day, going to have some Tommy John, and he has the UCL, so he's out. We lost him for the year, and just other guys have stepped up. It's been one guy after another that have just stepped up. And one thing that we can really, really do is get it done out of the bullpen. We've done a really nice job there, and when it comes to matching up bullpens from the fifth or sixth inning on with other teams, our hitters seem to hit other bullpens, and our bullpens seem to shut other teams down. Isaac Sewell has been really good out of the pen. I think he's got 5 or 6 wins out of the pen, and it's kind of a mentality that our team has, that when he gets in there, he's going to hold them down, and we'll come back and win and score some runs, and he's going to shut them down. And, of course, Cam Schulke at the end has been really good. So two good middle relievers with Keller Eberly and Isaac Sewell in the middle. Getting those middle innings done when our starters aren't going over 4 or 5 innings anyways at this point, and it's just who we have. We don't have a bunch of starting pitching. We have a good bullpen, and Isaac and Eberly have been really, really good, and Cam Schulke at the back end has been absolutely lights out. That's really nice to have.
Yeah, he's been very impressive out of the bullpen. And like you said, you had those talented guys with Sewell and Eberly to get to him, and, that good bridge. So, you, like I said, just if you don't get them early, you get them late, and you'll be able to shut them down and be successful that way. So, give me a little expectations on the Santa Fe series. They're a well-coached team, a good program, and any thoughts going into the series, or is it just you got to take care of business yourself?
They're really good. Johnny does a great job, and they always win, and they always figure out ways to win. And we battled for many, many years, and Johnny's a good friend, and he throws a good product on the field, and you just have to play really, really well to win. And it's always tough to beat them. They always play hard for 9 innings, and It's going to be a good series. I mean, we don't know a whole lot about them. They're only 45 minutes away. You know, you talk
Right.
to other coaches a little bit and just share a little bit, but not too much. Just everybody knows what team Johnny's going to have on the field and how they're going to play. And you know, we're going in a pitcher or so down and without Lori, and going to just try to grind it out and figure out ways to win like we've been doing all year. But it's just, you know, we play them 8 times. So Wednesday is the first of 8 games, and they're going to see our arms a lot, and they're going to see our arms a lot, and we're going to see theirs a lot, and you know, just try to figure out if we can take the majority of the 8 games, and try to win the conference so we can host the regional.
Right. Yeah. No, that's huge to be able to host that regional, and you know, it's going to be an epic battle. You know, like I said, 2 quality teams getting after it. You know, and that's what's fun at this time. You know, where you get the rivalries of big matchup games, and you know, you guys in Santa Fe is just going to be something that we're going to definitely follow over the next few days. So, anything else about your team this year, Marty, that you want to talk about, or? You know.
No, not really. Just you know, we're having fun and working hard and trying to get them better throughout the season. You know, that's the key. Last year's team, I thought our coaching staff, who's fantastic. We got 5 really good assistant coaches that work in different areas, and they just did a great job of getting the team that we had early that was right around 500 when conference started, better and better throughout the season, whether it be ball strike recognition or, you know, throwing more strikes or figuring out what people's roles were and switching the lineup around to do some things. We did a good job of getting those guys better at the end of the year, and we're complimented by scouts and coaches about how much better we were at the end of the year than we were at the beginning. So there's a lot of that going on right now. I think we're pretty good. Obviously, we're 31-1, but we still got to get better. And
Absolutely.
You know, you get to Grand Junction, and then you come up short out there, and you got to try to figure out what you got to do to play a little deeper. But first, you got to get out of the state of Florida, and that's really hard to do. And then you got to hope you're just playing your best baseball at the right time at the end of the year when it counts.
Yeah, last year's team, unbelievable run. That second half of the season just was probably a special journey for you guys, and you know, hopefully you can repeat that again this year. But kudos so far. Congrats on the season so far. You know, if you just talked about, you still got a lot of work to do, but it'll be a fun series against Santa Fe, and I wish you well the rest of the year, Marty. Thanks for being on our show.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. Good luck to you.
Thank you too. All right. Thank you.
Welcome, baseball fans, to the second half of our JUCO Jam special edition here, Coach's Corner. We got a chance to talk with Marty Smith, head coach at Central Florida, and now we get an opportunity to talk to Johnny Wiggs, head coach of Santa Fe. This is in preview of a big series that's coming up between these 2 teams starting on Wednesday at Central Florida. They play a 3-game set through the weekend, and Central Florida is ranked number 1 in the country at 31-1, and Santa Fe is ranked number 5 in the country at 29-1. And Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Tad. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is great. Hey, you've been around for a while. Can you remember the last time that 2 teams in Florida had these kind of records mid-season? I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, it's such a gauntlet to try to run through Florida, and you could get beat on any given day. And it's just been a special thing to see both teams playing so consistently.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't remember 2 teams doing this well. In 1999, how long I go back, in 99, I was in my first year as the head coach at Polk Community College down in Winter Haven, and Lake City and Tom Clark had a really good team. I think they went 26-1 in conference play. And I know they had a great group. Tom used to really recruit Puerto Rico really well. And they had what I called the great Puerto Rican national team, and they were really, really good. And As a first-year junior college head coach, I got my eyes opened quickly at how good junior college baseball was. But no, it's been a long time probably since two teams have had these kind of records. And I think we do it in a little bit different ways in terms of how we're winning. But yeah, it's fun to watch. And never would I expect two teams from the same conference to be playing this well. But it'll be fun. We got a long way to go in conference play, of course. But yeah, of course, 3 big games coming up this week.
Yeah, and congrats so far in the season. We know it's a long journey still to where you want to get to as a team and as a program, but good things. It's better to start this way than the alternative way. So no doubt about that. So tell us a little bit about Coach, about your baseball journey through baseball and ending up here at JUCO baseball in Santa Fe.
Well, I grew up in the Polk County area down near Lakeland, and my dad had 8 younger brothers. So I was force-fed competition from an early age. We played every Sunday. We had Sunday dinner at my grandparents' house, and then afterwards it was World War IV on the basketball court with my uncles. And I was the oldest grandson that sort of nudged my way into the games and got to start playing. And so that was my sort of introduction to the Whigs, the way the Whigs did things in terms of competition. I mean, half the Sundays ended up in fights, I think. But it was brutal competition, but it really prepared me. I went to a small high school, Mulberry High School, which is just outside of Lakeland, and I got a chance to play football, basketball, and baseball. Got to play all 3 sports. And, when it was football season, I thought I was going to play in the NFL, even though I was 5'9". And, when it was basketball, I was going to be Tiny Archibald for the Boston Celtics, the point guard. And, of course, baseball, I wanted to be Ron Guidry with the Yankees because I was left-handed. So I really enjoyed my high school days, but I knew I just wanted to play. I got smart, of course, as I got close to my senior year. I knew I wasn't big enough to play football and basketball, and I knew baseball had to be it. I got a chance to play junior college baseball. The Division I's were not looking at 5'9", 150-pound left-handed pitchers at the time, throwing 80 miles an hour. But I got a chance to play at Valencia Community College my freshman year for a legendary coach in Floyd Perry. It was Floyd's last year of coaching. He left after my freshman year. He went to Boardwalk and baseball and started the baseball operations there. And when Floyd left, he says, you can stay here at Valencia, but I'm not sure things are going to be the same. Well, he saw the writing on the wall from the administration. Like 4 or 5 years later, they folded athletics at Valencia, which was crazy. With all the campuses and the money they got flowing through Orlando, it would be one of the greatest junior college athletic programs if they'd have kept it. But I made the greatest decision of my life and transferred up here to Gainesville to Santa Fe Community College at the time. It worked perfectly for me. I always wanted to be a Gator. I grew up wanting to be a Gator. My dad played a little baseball for Florida State. And that was just another way for me to compete against my dad. He said he was Florida State. So I said, okay, then I'm Florida, right. So we competed against each other and everything, but, and my 2 younger brothers, but always wanted to be a Gator. I came up here to Santa Fe. Got me close to Florida. They got a chance to see me play. Had a great year at Santa Fe, and then, of course, got the opportunity to play at Florida, my lifelong dream. I always tell people when I was in 10th grade, I was probably 5'6", 125 pounds. But if I went to my guidance counselor and he said, hey, I want you to give me 3 goals. I said, okay. Well, I wasn't thinking college degrees or things like I should have been thinking about. I thought about baseball, and I gave him 3 baseball goals. I said, 1, I want to pitch for the Florida Gators. He said, okay, 2. He's probably chuckling already. I said, 2, I see it on TV. I want to pitch in the College World Series. He said, okay, go to 3. I said, I want to pitch in Yankee Stadium. So he's laughing, but fast forward 5 or 6 years later, I get a telegram. And I have to explain this to young people what a telegram was, but I got a telegram at a hotel, and it says, congratulations, you've met your first 2 goals. I was pitching for the University of Florida in Omaha, Nebraska in the 1988 College World Series. And I came close to reaching goal number 3 of pitching in Yankee Stadium. I pitched in AAA. I got to AAA with the Red Sox and really thought I had a chance as a situational left-hander. Got hurt, didn't work out. couple years ago, I thought I had a chance to achieve goal number 3 because I'm still working on it, Tad. I thought we had the Detroit Tigers convinced to let me come throw batting practice for them in Yankee Stadium. They bailed on me the last time for liability reasons and so forth. But if anybody's got connections, I'm still working for goal number 3 to get on that mound in Yankee Stadium and make it all happen. But I had a great career at Florida. Had a lot of fun. We won a lot of games. We helped University of Florida go to the first College World Series ever in school history in '88. We were ranked number 1 in '89, but didn't make it back to the World Series. Got a chance. Luke Wren, legendary scout down here in Florida, signed me with the Seattle Mariners after I went undrafted. I was 5'9", 5'10", 165 pounds, left-hander, but he gave me a chance. I ended up playing 5 seasons up to AAA with the Mariners, Tigers, and Red Sox. Just really enjoyed competing and playing my whole life. After pro ball, I was always coming back to Gainesville to finish my degree, to finish my master's degree. But Coach Harry Tholen here at Santa Fe gave me an opportunity to start coaching one of my off seasons. He let me be the pitching coach all fall and into the early spring until I left for spring training. And it gave me the bug. It gave me the coaching bug, and I loved it and been coaching ever since. Got a chance to coach here. When I was doing my master's level, I coached at Gainesville High School here in town. I was the volunteer assistant coach at University of Florida 1 year before finally getting a chance. I was a pitching coach at Jacksonville University for 3.5 years, and then went home when the job opened up at Polk Community College back in 98, 99. 99 was my first year there. But got a chance to go home, be close to my parents and my grandparents when my kids were little. That was a great experience. Coached there 8 years. But my wife of 32 years now, 32 years I've been married to my wife. I met her in Gainesville. She'd grown up here from middle school on. And our goal was one day to get back to Gainesville and get back to Santa Fe. And when Coach Harry Tholen retired 17 plus years ago, I applied and was fortunate to get the job, and have been here at Santa Fe for 17 years. This is my 25th year as a junior college head coach. So it's been quite a journey, but boy, I've loved every step of it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, no, at least you made the guidance counselor happy by getting your degrees and everything.
I've been in a baseball uniform ever since I was 7 years old. Every spring since I was seven or eight. I guess it was 8 when where I lived out in the woods. They didn't let you start playing until you're 8 back in those days. There was no T-ball, coach pitch, or machine pitch. At 8 years old, you had to toe the rubber and you had to throw it over the plate. But since I was 8 years old, I've worn a baseball uniform, and I'm really blessed to have been able to do that, to make a little bit of a living.
Yeah, it's great that we could fool these people long enough to stay in baseball as long as we have, I mean, that's just a great thing to be around the game this long. So congratulations on that. I scouted for 22 years with the Astros, and, we picked some players here and there with, out at the junior college level. But last year I finally got an opportunity to really sink my teeth into the junior college aura and stuff, and really took to it, really enjoyed it. My kind of people, a lot of down-to-earth people, hardworking guys, and great coaches, and, just some good kids, and, a lot of these kids have the story, they didn't get enough love out of high school. They need some things, they need to be helped. And, I think junior college baseball has done an outstanding job, doing coaching and developing these kids over the last bunch of years. And it just has been a great thing to see. And, one thing people don't realize, I was just in Weatherford last week, and the facilities that you guys have now to train these kids and get these kids better and, provide them with all the things they need to get to the next level is just unbelievable.
I've always said that, junior college provides that platform, that springboard to the next level. I always say guys get better in practice. You can get better in practice. You can get better in the bullpen, but you really get better when you get between the white lines and you get 100, 150 at bats. You get 50 innings worth of pitching rather than being at a Division I school sitting on the bench getting an at bat here or there. I love my time at the University of Florida. Boy, wouldn't change anything for the world. But I know if I'd have stepped in there as a freshman coming out of high school, I wouldn't have sniffed the mound. I wasn't ready physically. I wasn't ready mentally. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready academically for 300 people auditorium classes either. So the junior college gives you small classroom environments to help you with your education, but it really gives you an opportunity to compete and get on the field and fail and learn and really just get better at your craft to prepare yourself for that next level. And it worked perfectly for me, and it's worked perfectly for hundreds of my guys and so forth. And really, really great level.
Yeah, and I think it's, with the way the trickle-down effect, Major League Baseball got rid of a couple of those first season clubs. So, they're counting on the D1s to be kind of a development and the junior colleges to be like their development process. And then I think even in turn that the D1s are looking at the junior college level to be their development and to bring kids in who are seasoned, experienced, who played against competition, who've been away from home already, and just have come in a little bit more well seasoned than the freshmen that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the Power Fives especially are using the transfer portal and junior colleges to really make sure they have experienced guys on their field. I mean, it takes a special kid these days as a freshman to walk across town here and play at the University of Florida. I mean, I've had a chance to see those guys twice in person this year, and man, there are some physical kids on that field. And even at our level, we always say the game of baseball has changed so much. Back in my day, I used to love watching the 78 to 80 to 81 Yankees. And if you look at the video of the 78 Yankees and you look at the Yankees today, they're a little bit bigger and stronger. there's no Aaron Judges out there. I mean, Dave Winfield was pretty tall, but boy, he was he was skinny. He was lean. That's right.
Yeah.
So the game's definitely become a lot more physical, and every level's gotten more physical. And you see 16-year-olds throwing 92 miles an hour these days. It's just
ridiculous.
It is crazy. I mean, my team was really good. We won the SEC regular season championship, the SEC tournament championship. We won the regional. We went to the World Series. I think we had two guys that threw over 90 miles an hour on my 88.
Right.
If you threw 90 back in the day, you threw gas.
Right. Exactly.
Now they call you a thumber if you throw 90.
Right. Exactly. And, I think that, in your playing days in pro ball, my playing days at the end of our careers, I think they just started getting into the training more. It used to be taboo back in the old days to even lift and get tight and get built up and bulked up, but now they know how to do it the right way. And I think as we were ending our playing careers, I think that started to become more of a norm in baseball.
There's no doubt. Yeah, but the junior college level has been great for me. I love it because I get to put my hands in all of it.
Right.
I always talk about, I'm doing scrubbing laundry or getting a puddle off the field. I always say, hey, what's Kevin O'Sullivan doing today? I wonder.
Right. Exactly.
He's not scrubbing laundry or getting a puddle off the field. He's spending all his time recruiting. But
No.
I always say junior college coaches really love it. And when we have success, we really stick our chest out a little bit because we've done everything. We help our kids with academics and helping them with classes. We work on the field daily. We scrub their laundry after games. We put our hands on a little bit of all of it, and maybe that's the reason I love it so much. Again, like I said, this is my 25th year as a junior college head coach, and I love it because also we get to we get recruit, but we also get to promote. We're recruiting our guys, but we're also on the other end trying to get them signed by the 4-year colleges.
Right.
I always tell people this, because people say, well, why did you get into coaching? Well, I got into it selfishly because I wanted to still compete. I mean, It was a way for me to win or lose still. I mean, that was what was bled into me as a kid and force fed to me. And so that was my number one goal. It was about Johnny Wigg still getting to compete. Now, over the years, I've learned it's a lot more than about me.
Right.
It's about getting my kids the same opportunities that I got. I came out of a little small town, a little small high school. I was 5 foot nothing, weighed 100 nothing, and baseball. I always say baseball got me these 2 degrees that I have on my wall here
Right.
because without my coaches and my academic advisors and everybody supporting me, I wouldn't have had the drive to get those degrees. I tell my players the reason I got those degrees is because coach said I had to go to class to play.
Right.
And I said, well, then he said something really profound. You have to pass class to play. So I made sure I went to class. I made sure I passed class because the worst thing you could do to me was say you can't pitch today or you can't pitch this year. If they'd have told me that, I would have crumbled. I would have rather ran 1,000-mile run, than
Right.
not to get a chance to play. So getting on the field and competing and playing was really important to me. And junior college started that process for me, gave me a great stepping stone academically coming from a small school before going to the University of Florida, but also gave me that great stepping stone and foundation from a baseball standpoint to help me grow up a little bit, get a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, and gain even more confidence than I had coming out of high school.
Wow, that's great. Well, the team you got this year is a good resemblance of that competitiveness that you're talking about. You got a strong lineup there with Jelani Rogers, J.P. Hairholes, Josh Hogue. I mean, just all kinds of guys who could swing the bat. Drake Harmon. Hunter Keene. Tell us a little bit about your lineup there.
Well, it's been pretty consistent. We got off to a great start, and I hadn't messed with it too much. I mean, 7 or 8 of the guys have been in there pretty much almost every day. But it's a well balanced lineup. Hunter Keene's hitting leadoff for us, and he finds his way on base. Doesn't hit for a lot of power. I think he's got 10 doubles on the year, but hitting around 350, has a high on base percentage. But then we follow him with Josh Hogue, a freshman left-handed hitter. We thought he was a pretty good hitter coming out of high school, but he's been tremendous. He's been over 400 all year long. I think he's hitting almost 420 for us
Yeah,
right now. I mean, he seems like he hits everything. He doesn't wait for deep in the count. He sees it, he hits it. Jelani Rogers got off to a great start, hitting almost 400 for the whole month of January and February. A super athletic kid that can run, plus defender in center field,
yeah,
but got sneaky pop. I think he's got like 10, 11 doubles, couple triples, 6, 7 home runs. And then J.P. Hurl's got off to probably the greatest start in Santa Fe history. He was leading the country in RBIs there for a while. I think he's top 5 still. I think he's one behind here in the state of Florida. I think behind the Central Florida kid. But he's come through, so many times. It seemed like last year, we thought we had a pretty good club last year. We probably left the bases loaded 25 times last year, but JP hasn't let that happen. It seems like he's come up to bat with a lot of guys on base, and give credit to Keene and Hogue and Rogers for being on base all the time for him.
right.
But JP's been huge. He's a success story for me because he's a kid that came in here as a walk-on. He actually walked on his first 2 years here. He redshirted his freshman year, wasn't ready to play. Came out of Christopher Columbus High School in Miami. Last year, our first baseman hit 19 home runs and tied the school record. So JP DH'd some, platooned, still waiting his turn. All of a sudden, he gets his turn in his third year and takes off. And it's
That's
going to have plenty of scholarship opportunities at the next level. So, we when we get so many scholarships, and we try to convince some kids to come in here as walk-ons, and we try to tell them some stories like JP's and some other guys who maybe were the last guy on the roster, fought their way on, redshirted a year. Red walk-ons are a huge part of our programs down here, and JP's a living example. Boy, if you just keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, keep working. That's what he did. Great kid, and he's done outstanding for us. But the key for us offensively, we just been pretty consistent up and down the lineup.
yeah,
Everybody's contributed, and I think we're fifth in batting average in the state of Florida. which is solid. But we're tied for, I think we're second in least strikeouts. You know, the things that have helped us is I think we've won what I call the freebie war: walks, hit by pitches, and errors. If you total those up, usually the team that wins that particular stat category usually wins the baseball games in junior college baseball. To move to our pitching staff, our pitchers have given up the least walks in the state of Florida. You know, and we've walked. I think we have the second most walks in the state of Florida as hitters. We're also tied for the best fielding percentage in the state of Florida. So when you don't walk guys and you don't make errors, you got to give yourself a great opportunity. I always say, especially at our level. But I was talking to the Division I coach this morning. He says, "Coach, I think that's at any level." You know,
Absolutely.
So we don't have a bunch of guys that are throwing 95 miles an hour on our baseball team. We have a bunch of pitchers. You know, I guess they clone themselves after their coach. Maybe I wasn't a guy that was very big and didn't throw it very hard, but I changed speeds. I had a really good curveball, and our guys have done a great job of that. Most of our guys, especially our starting pitching, can throw any pitch at any count. And when you do that, you keep hitters a little bit off balance. And our starting pitchers have done a great job of that. Tobin Moran, the three guys we ran out the first two weeks of conference were Tobin Moran, Corey Braun, and Jacob Phillips. For a while there, for last week, I think they had combined for only 10 walks all year together. They got a couple more now, but that's been our key. You know, Tobin Moran has got only 4 walks and 45 strikeouts in 45 innings. Corey
Yeah.
Braun has 7 walks and 41 strikeouts. And then Phillips has 8 walks and 39 strikeouts. So all great strikeout to walk ratios. And that's the key to our success this year, Tad, is for our guys to really pound the strike zone, to not give up walks and hit by pitches, and to let our defense play. We really thought coming into this year we had a chance to really be a good defensive team. I thought that a little bit last year, and it didn't work out. I usually get out of the prediction business in the junior college baseball world because you never
Right.
know. My dad always says, "Why did you choose a profession where your satisfaction and your job is determined by 18 to 20-year-olds?"
Right.
Uh,
Right. No, that's
I do
exactly
really love it, but he makes a good point.
right.
You are hoping your guys make plays and make pitches and get big hits to help you be successful as a head coach. But that's been our formula, Tad, for this year, just is throwing strikes and playing defense. And our hitters have had a really, really good start to the season.
I'm glad you reinforced that. You know, on the show all year, that's all we talked about. All the successful pitches we talked about: high strikeout, low walk. You know, I mean, in the day and of the big arms and the high velo guys, you know, they want to miss bats and everything. Hey, be efficient. Get that ground ball or pop up on the first pitch, and you know you want to stay in the game with your pitch count. There you go. You know,
I think it was Sandy Koufax. I think it was Sandy Koufax who said, "I had a lot more success when I finally figured out to quit trying to get them to miss it and get them trying to hit it." You know,
right.
of course, we want soft contact. We have a former player in Ryan Yarborough who's pitching the Tampa Bay Rays. He's now with the Royals, and he's an off-speed left-hander. He throws a cutter and everything. I think every team needs a couple of those guys on their team, but
Absolutely.
very rarely do they have them. But Yarborough, for a couple of years, led the league in the lowest exit velocity.
Right.
So
And that
that's the
getting
goal, is try to get them
miss
to
the
hit the ball
barrels.
hit the ball as quick as we can weekly to those infielders for sure.
Right. Yeah. Pitch and play defense. That's been a success. Well, it sounds like everything is falling in place for you guys so far. And, you know, as a coach that never satisfied, you got a long journey ahead of you. And, you know, your goals are the same as to get the Grand Junction, get out of the state of Florida, which is a tough task in itself. And you're going to have all you can handle this week. And what do you expect a little bit out of Central Florida?
Well, they're very physical. Like I told you earlier, I think we do it 2 different ways. You know, they try to throw it through the brick wall a lot from the mound. They have some really high arms. they try to bludgeon you to death offensively. I mean, shoot, I
Right.
think they have double the home runs of anybody in the state of Florida. So the goal will be to try to keep them in the ballpark. But the key to that is, I always say when you look at numbers like that, you always say, they're gonna get their home run or two. They're gonna get some home runs. The key is to minimize the stuff before that. I said, I've told my guys, if all of a sudden you pick, 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 and all of a sudden you walk two guys and the third guy hits a home run, now he gets a 3-run homer instead of a solo homer. So we've got to minimize the damage before the home run. They're going, like I
Absolutely.
said, they've got some really good looking hitters. They're going to bang the baseball at times. We got to play good defense, win the freebie war, and play good defense, and I think we'll be okay. But yeah, they're super talented. They were super
Yeah.
talented a year ago. He
Yeah.
reloaded. They reloaded again, and it'll be a great challenge for us. We haven't played as a team, of course, as good as Central Florida
Right.
yet because they're 30-1 and or
Right.
31-1. They're 31
Right.
and 1 for a reason. I tell
Right.
people, people ask me, "How you 29-1? How you do?" I always say we're tricking them. I said we're doing we're doing what I did when I was pitched. Smoke, mirrors, and deception.
Right.
But and I'm kidding a little
Get the
bit.
job done.
We have a good baseball team. We have really good players, but
Right.
we're probably winning in a different way than Central Florida's winning.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, you were talking about, D1s and pro guys. Their team, when you walk it, they walk on the field, they look like a big physical, strong
sure.
team. When I saw both you guys early in the year over at Lake Myrtle there early at that first tournament, then you could tell that their physicality is a big difference. But, I watched your guys play, watching Jelani Rogers run down balls, and the way how hard your kids played came out against Indian River, which was a good club right away, and took care of business against them. And just by doing the basic fundamental things, people forget that the fundamentals in baseball are huge. You know them and you could play the game for quite a while.
Yeah, if you pitch it, you catch it, and you throw it pretty good, you got a chance. And like I said, we've done a good job at that. Playing, I had another coach say, "Well, you play clean." Well, we like playing clean, and if we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win.
Absolutely.
When you have a record like this and Central Florida's record, you always say, as coaches, we know it's baseball.
Right.
The ball's bound to bounce the wrong way for you. You're bound to make a mistake here and there. But it's been a great ride. The guys are really confident. My job, I guess, all falls one, stay out of the way, but two,
Right.
keep them humble. I'm
Right.
trying. Sometimes I get a little more critical on this team than I have on other teams. Because I'm trying to keep them humble. Because sometimes I've always said you learn more by losses in this game than you do wins. And sometimes when if you make mistakes and you keep winning, sometimes they don't learn as much. They don't think, oh, we can make those mistakes. We'll keep winning. So my job has been to try to keep them humble, try to keep them just going one day at a time, those kind of things, instead of looking ahead. This state is a gauntlet of really good
Abs-
baseball, of really good baseball teams. So any given day you can get beat. So we try to get our guys to come to play, and that's probably my favorite part about this. This team comes every day to work. They have great work ethic. They show up an hour early. I mean, we have practice at 1:30. They're here at 12:30. I'll look around and say, I guess we'll start. You guys are here. They love coming to the park early, hanging out together. They love getting on the
you,
field. So
you got a good group then. Yeah.
it's been, I worry about the next game, but I don't worry about my team. I don't worry about my team and their character and their work ethic and all those kind of things. They've been a pleasure to be around. They make the old
Yeah.
guy look good. That's for sure.
Well, that's great. And it's been great talking baseball with you. I appreciate you coming on the show. And, we're going to all be watching the next few days at that epic series, and it'll be a fun one. One thing I do know is both teams are going to play as hard as they can, and it's going to be a great battle.
Well, it's always been a great rivalry. We're so close together. We're only about 40 minutes,
Right.
40 minutes apart. And, they've continued to get better every year. Of course, they had a tremendous year last year. It'll be a great we play each other 8 times this year. 8.
Right.
So
Right.
it's crazy. This year, some teams left for Division II JUCO and made our conferences small for this one particular year. So we're going to get friendly with each other. That's for sure. We're going to know each other by game 7 and 8. That's for sure.
Well, like Marty talked about too, win the conference so you could host the regionals. That's
There's no
big
doubt
thing.
there's no doubt that's a big plus. To be able to play at home 2 out of 3 series to get to the Final Four and so forth. But we'll take it one game at a time, Tab.
Right.
Like I said, we've done it all year in terms of just trying to win the next one. And of course, Central Florida is going to make that tough this week, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Right.
I love the great competition.
Hey, and I love talking JUCO baseball with you and baseball in general, Johnny. It's been a pleasure having you on the show here, and we wish you and your team nothing but the best. So,
Tad, thanks for all you do, and appreciate you having me on.
All right. Have a great day, Johnny.
All right.
Good
Go
luck.
Saints.
All right. Sounds good.
You've been listening to JUCO Jam. For all your junior college needs, go to dreambigathletics.com and make sure to tune in to next week's episode of JUCO Jam.